beat a path to the Super Bowl for the third straight year. Joe Theismann and arrested John Riggins challenged the NFL's finest defense, that belonging to the Chicago Bears, making their first playoff appearance in 5 years. With reserve quarterback Steve Fuller as their starter, the Bears will rely heavily on Walter Payton, the NFL's all-time leading ground gainer who knows he must somehow produce the game of his life. It's the Bears against the Redskins. Coming up next, the NFL Today.
The NFL Today is sponsored by the 1985 Jetta, the new affordable German road car from Volkswagen. The Stroh Brewery Company, brewers of Stroh's, Old Milwaukee, and other fine beer. And by AT&T Computers from AT&T Information Systems, when you've got to be right. And now from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., here's Brent Musburger.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to RFK Stadium, where again we are live. Just as we were yesterday at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, we are 30 minutes away from kicking off. And here in this stadium, they have sold out for Redskin home games for every outing since 1966. You know, they are 7-0 in playoff games here at RFK. In fact, you've got to go way back 44 years ago to when the Redskins last lost a home playoff game in this city. We're going to take a look at that game a little bit later in the broadcast. For Chicago, the last time they won a playoff game, 1963. Their starting strong safety that day was a man by the name of Richie Pettibone. And Pettibone today is an assistant head coach under Joe Gibbs. He comes back as the defensive coordinator of the Redskins against these Bears. The weather yesterday here in Washington, they broke a record that was established back in 1893 when it hit 75 degrees. Today it'll be 57 degrees. The forecast, only a slight chance of rain. And so we have got fabulous conditions here in RFK Stadium. Irv, I could never remember it this good this late in the year.
Boy, Brent, I'll tell you, I feel the same way about it. I've never seen the field at RFK Stadium in this great shape this late in the season. So really, the field, as far as conditions are concerned, really is not a factor in this ball game. The only thing I can feel is sort of a slight breeze swirling around the stadium, which will affect the passing game and the kicking game. But let me also say this, too. I've been on a football field prior to big games for many, many years, but I've never felt the electricity and excitement between two ball clubs in pregame warm-ups as we feel down here today. The big question, of course, in Washington is the overall injury condition, and the big injury everybody talks about is big John Riggins, number 44, says he feels fine. He feels better now than he has in a long time. He says, it's January and it's playoff time. I'm ready to go. The Bears, on the other end, have a couple of key injuries to be concerned about. The starting right cornerback, Leslie Frazier, comes into the ball game with a bruised-up right foot. He can run straight ahead all right, but he can't stop and come forward without enduring a lot of pain. So Terry Schmidt will start for him. Frazier will play only in the nickel defense. And Dennis McKinnon, the wide receiver for the Chicago Bears, who had arthroscopic knee surgery 3 weeks ago, will start. Bears are banged up. Redskins are healthy, but it's going to be a barn burner, Brent.
All right, Irv, thank you. As the Redskins go back inside their locker room now for their final thoughts before they kick it off here in RFK. Yesterday, of course, the divisional playoffs got underway. Game one was down in the Orange Bowl in Miami, and it was Dan Marino and the Dolphins getting a large measure of revenge for being knocked out a year ago by the Seattle Seahawks. Marino with 3 touchdown passes, that one to Jimmy Cephalo. And throughout much of the afternoon, Chuck Knox was upset about the officiating. Now watch as Marino throws this one back into the corner. Mark Clayton catches it on the ricochet, and it goes 31-10. Then, in San Francisco, Joe Montana tossed 3 touchdown passes. That one to Russ Francis. They took a quick lead and then turned it over to the 49er defense. 5 times they sacked Giant quarterback Phil Simms. Here is Dwayne Ford closing in, and it's a 21-10 triumph the 49ers with the win. And I'll tell you, you were very impressed with that San Francisco team, and they get a lot of home cooking the rest of the way.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's nothing like having defense. It's an old thing for many years, Brent, that you have to have great defense to win Super Bowls, win championships. 49ers can take their hats off to their defense. By golly, they played a whale of a game yesterday, and quite honestly, I think they're going to continue playing that way throughout the remaining of these playoffs.
Speaking of defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers, your old team, going a little bit later against Denver.
Well, you know, the Steelers are kind of interesting. They're doing it differently with when they had L.C. Greenwood, Mad Dog, Dwight White, and Ernie Holmes, Arrowhead Holmes, and all those 4 down line. But now they have 3. Now they're using 4 linebackers to blitz, and they're doing a lot of blitzing. Totally different, Brent, than from the defenses that I was accustomed to. It's different now. It's going to be an interesting game between those Broncos and Steelers.
All right, Frank Kleber and Dick Vermeil will be calling the action here in RFK Stadium for you. They met with the 2 head coaches yesterday. So let's go up to the booth now, and here's Frank.
Brent, there are probably 28 different coaching philosophies in the National Football League, but when you got a Payton and you got a Riggins, we talked to the coaches yesterday, and they're thinking run.
Well, both Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs feel, hey, this is their philosophy to run the football first. That's the way they win. That's how they got here. But they feel, number one, they have to keep running the ball today to win. That's all there is to it.
Well, Ditka feels that the Redskins haven't faced a Walter Payton yet. Of course, they're number 1 and number 2 defensively against the run. So you figure maybe Payton and Riggins cancel each other out. Where do you go then?
Well, if that happens, I think then the edge definitely goes to the Washington Redskins, because the Washington Redskins have been here before. They have the experienced quarterback in Theismann. They have the great receiver core, Monk, the number 1 receiver in the NFL with 106. I think if it goes to there, then the Bears are in trouble, Frank.
Well, I think it's going to be a great football game. And Brent, what kind of odds do you think you would have got from the Greek, the temperature today being 20 degrees warmer in Washington the day before New Year's Eve than in San Francisco yesterday?
He can't believe it either, Frank. And we will continue with the NFL Today here on CBS in just a moment.
Go around with anyone else.
Irv Cross is live outside the Bear locker room. And, Irv, I rather imagine that the man inside with the most butterflies might be their starting quarterback, Steve Fuller.
No doubt about that, Brent. They're going over their game plan right now. And I'll tell you one of their players they're going over in just a second. But, you know, at the position of quarterback, the Bears are starting the football equivalent of an unknown soldier. But if he can pull off a victory today, it won't be the first time that a Bear quarterback has done so in a big playoff game. 21 years ago, rough and tumble Billy Wade quarterbacked the Chicago Bears to their last NFL title. This year, Jim McMahon got the Bears off to a good start, but an injury ended the season early and reduced them to shagging balls this week. The Bears are counting on Steve Fuller to lead them today, but who is Steve Fuller?
I'm certainly not a big, strong-arm guy like a Steve Bartkowski type. I think if I do anything well, I try to stay away from making a mistake. And fortunately for me, that has helped me fit in with our type of offense very well this year.
The Bears spent last week in Chicago getting ready for today's game. But when the weather turned sour, they headed out of town and worked out at the Falcons training camp in Suwanee, Georgia. For Steve Fuller, it really doesn't matter whether he spends a week in Chicago or Atlanta, just as long as he ends up on Sunday in Washington over the center.
My first reaction is excitement. It's been a long time coming. It's a dream of every football player to get in this kind of situation, and for me personally, it just hadn't happened.
Although Fuller has been in the league for 6 years, he's been with 3 teams and still shares the dream of all quarterbacks, a Super Bowl victory. But he also has nightmares.
Your big nightmares, you throwing an interception that maybe goes for the winning touchdown or something like that, but you can't play scared. I know if you're back there and you're worried about throwing an interception, it just doesn't click for you. And fortunately, we have good players around me, and they make it very, very easy to get the job done.
He can throw, but with Walter Payton back there, the game plan is to run. Fuller's coming off a shoulder injury, and if he's rusty or gets off to a shaky start, the patience of Mike Ditka might become an issue.
Mike, if Steve gets off to a slow start Sunday, are you liable to make a quick change? Or
No, we won't make a quick change. Steve is our quarterback, and we'll go with him.
Steve, if you re-injured your shoulder again, would you tell Mike Ditka?
I would gut it out as long as I could. I wouldn't jeopardize the success of our team because of it, but, you know, hopefully there'd be enough adrenaline there and I'd be good and lathered up, and it might carry me through the rest of that football game.
He's been the center of attention this week, but he has already earned the respect of his teammates and has an old Bears quarterback rooting for him.
I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I hope they beat the Redskins badly, like 35 points.
The one play they're working on behind these doors right now is I right, strong toss, twist. Walter Payton over his right tackle. Brent?
Yeah, we'll see that a few times. Terry, what about Steve Fuller? What does he have to bring to the dance now?
Well, what you have in a playoff game like this, Brent, is a young quarterback's first time out, coming off an injury in a championship game against a team that's won the Super Bowl, a great football team. Very simple, I think. He has to keep his composure, relax, maintain his poise, keep a clear mind, and remember, this is a game, and have fun, and if he'll just apply those things, and then they'll get him out of that pocket and use his athletic ability, I think he'll be all right.
Terry, I mentioned a little bit earlier that it was many years ago, the last time Washington lost a home playoff game in this particular city, 44 years ago. As a matter of fact, on that particular day, if you had the Redskins and 72 points, you still lost, as Jimmy the Greek well remembers.
The year was 1940, World War II in Europe. America was still at peace, and Joe D. led the league. November 25th, the future coach of the year, Joe Gibbs, was born. And 13 days later, another famous coach, George Halas, would lead his Bears into the NFL title game against George Preston Marshall's Washington Redskins.
George Marshall, the Redskins owner, took it upon himself to call the Bears a bunch of crybabies and a first-half team.
He called us forerunners and crybabies, and all Mr. Halas, he took that article from the paper, put it in the locker room, and said, every one of you digest this.
Halas Bears came out hungry and mean. On the second play of the game, Bullet Bill Osmanski broke off a 68-yard scoring run, and the rock was on.
We just controlled the entire game. Everything we did was right, and everything they did was half wrong.
Until the Japanese pulled off what they did, December 7th, 1941, the real day of infamy was December 8th, 1940, when the Bears came in here and did what they did to the Redskins.
To the Redskins, 73-0 read the final score, and after the game, Osmanski tried to console Sammy Baugh.
I said, Sam, don't feel badly. He looked down at me and said, Osmanski, this is the most humiliating thing happened in my entire life. I said, think what would have happened if Charlie Moore caught that ball you threw to him. He said, I did, Bill. The score had been 73-7.
And here come the Chicago Bears to see if they can do it all over again in Washington.
I'll tell you what, you think that Washington Redskins want a little revenge for what happened, Jimmy?
Listen, I made that game a one-point favorite in the favor of the Bears.
We'll see what the Greek thinks about today's game when we continue live from RFK Stadium in just a moment.
Volkswagen.
RFK Stadium, the Chicago Bears defensive unit has come out, and they are now being introduced. And, of course, the Washington Redskins will also be coming out of the field shortly. And, Jimmy the Greek, before the season even began, you touted the Bears as a team that could win the NFC.
Brent, if McMahon were here, this game would be a toss-up. But there is the big difference. Theismann over that kid from Chicago. I mean, he can roll out, he's evasive, he's had the experience, he's a 10-point favorite.
Well, some good news, of course, for the Chicago Bears is that Mike Hartenstein will be able to play today. There was some question about him. And now here come the Washington Redskins to be introduced. It'll be the defensive unit, number 71, Charles Mann. Now, Jimmy, there's the heart and soul of that defensive line, Dave Butts. Number 77, Darrell Grant. And now here comes Dexter Manley. There are the linebackers in the 4-3, led by Mel Kaufman. Neil Olkowitz is the middleman. Rich Malott will be the next one out. Now their much maligned secondary. Darrell Green, followed by number 32, Vernon Dean. Ken Coffey is number 48. And the free safety, number 22, is Curtis Jordan. It's the Redskins and the Bears coming up on CBS. We'll see you at halftime. Enjoy the game, everybody.
In the increasingly prestigious Mike Ditka's Bears, who haven't won an NFL playoff game since 1963. The monsters of the Midway have reemerged, meaner and tougher than ever, with an NFC Central Division crown anchored by the game's #1 defense, a defense that specialized in turning opposing offenses black and blue. Offensively, the load is shouldered by the immensely talented Walter Payton, who finally climbed the Jim Brown Mountain. Washington, on the other hand, is a city used to a winner, with the Redskins vying for an unprecedented NFC third straight Super Bowl appearance. The Redskins are Joe Theismann of the radar arm and shifty feet, the power running of the indestructible John Riggins, and Washington sports its own NFL record setter in wide receiver Art Monk, who snared an incredible 106 passes this year. The last time the Redskins lost a home playoff game was 44 years ago, and that flogging by the Bears has never been surpassed. The second season for the Redskins and the Bears begins today at RFK.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, an NFC playoff game. The Chicago Bears versus the Washington Redskins.
140 straight sellouts and counting here at RFK Stadium. And Dave Finzer ready to kick off. The deep man is Mike Nelms. He's been back there all year long. Nelms at the goal line. And they go with the reverse on the opening kickoff. Monty Coleman, a linebacker, on the reverse from Nelms, takes it to the 36-yard line. Redskins fans love it, quite obviously, but we've got an argument going on at the center of the field. And let's see if we've got an infraction here on the opening kickoff. I don't see a flag. The referee is Fred Silva as Mike Ditka looks on. No flags. It'll be 1st and 10 Redskins at their 36-yard line. Joe Theismann at quarterback. John Riggins, the one-back set. Calvin Muhammad and Art Monk outside. Didier and Warren, the tight ends. And the Redskins. 1st and 10 as the Redskins open with a surprise. A reverse on the opening kickoff. Theismann comes out throwing. It's Art Monk, the bread and butter man, at the 43-yard line for about 7. Defensively, for the Chicago Bears, Mike Hartenstein, who was questionable up until the start of the game, Steve McMichael, Dan Hampton, and Richard Dent. The front four, the linebackers, Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary, and Al Harris, though you could find them just about anywhere. Mike Richardson, Terry Schmidt in the secondary. Schmidt filling in for Leslie Frazier, who is injured, and Todd Bell and Gary Fensick are the safeties. 2nd and 2, Riggins.
Oh, Mike, he's chewing that gum right now.
Sharp and early. 2nd down, 5, as Joe Gibbs looks on from the other side of the field. Redskins at the Bear 30-yard line. Pounding away with Riggins, and this time the Bears get him behind the line of scrimmage. Hampton was through there quickly, number 99, along with Otis Wilson, number 55, the left side linebacker.
won the game in the final seconds. And he did that to the Eagles, the team that I was coaching, 4 times. He just sort of irritates me to look at it.
Third down. Let's call it 4, needed for the first down. Redskins at the Bear 19. Theismann saw it, got it away, but had to throw it away. In effect, as he couldn't reach the intended receiver, who was Charlie Brown. We've got a flag back at the line of scrimmage. It's off for the Redskins. Gull does not return to kickoff this year. From the 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, and Gull with that tremendous speed out to the 35-yard line. He'll be their primary returner today, where he hasn't been all year. He did return kicks last year, 34 on that return. Steve Fuller at quarterback, replacing the injured Jim McMahon. Matt Suey and Walter Payton, the running backs. Willie Galt and Dennis McKinnon, who's operating with a knee problem at the wide receiver. Jim Covert is their best offensive lineman. He'll be joined by Bortz, Hilgenberg, Becker, Van Horn, and Emery Moorhead will be the tight end. Bears' first possession of the day. 1st and 10 at their 34. Is running, taking the handoff. 2nd and 4. Bears at their 40. Here's Payton. First carry of the day, and Walter Payton has got a first down for the Chicago Bears as he takes it across the 50-yard line to the 49-yard line of the Redskins. An 11-yard pickup. Defensively, for the Redskins, they play the standard 4-man front. Charles Mann, Dave Bucks, Darrell Grant, and Dexter Manley. The 3 linebackers, Kaufman, Olkowitz, and Milat. And the deep men are Darrell Green and Vernon Dean at the corners, and Ken Kaufman and Curtis Jordan, the safeties. Frank Bears belong to 2 players who were with the Cowboys, Jay Saldi and Andy Frederick. 2nd and 10, Riggins. Over the left side and shoved back after gaining just a yard or 2. Dan Hampton, number 99, leading the defensive charge. Boy, you talk tough. Dan Hampton has on his body 200 assorted stitches from football injuries going back quite a few years.
He gets fired up when you talk to him, doesn't he? He's had 400 cc's of fluid taken off his knee this year. He's not 100%, but he lines up and plays.
Yeah, he said that's just about a 6-pack. Right?
That's just about a 6-pack, he said.
Third down, 1st and 10 for the Redskins at their 39. Charlie Brown wide to the left side. Monk is set in the slot up at the top of your screen. Riggins, the handoff from Theismann, running into trouble behind the line of scrimmage, and is dropped back at the 37 by Mike Hartenstein. Tough customer.
Steve McMichael, number 76, the defensive left tackle, got some penetration. I think somebody made a blocking mistake or just missed him in there because he had penetration into that backfield.
From midfield, 1 minute and 35 left in the quarter, and count it. They're coming at Riggins, and this time Hampton lands on top of Theismann back at the 40-yard line. First, Joe's got to be a little shell-shocked. Last 2 ball games of the regular season, he was sacked a total of 14 times.
Right, and in talking to the coaches about it, wait a minute, I'll come back. Here you can see, now watch the people commit to the rush. Here comes number 50, Singletary, see him there? He's in after him, Dan Hampton right there. Nice little cross charge that was not picked up properly. Take another look at this now. Watch right over the ball. 76, Rick, see he's got him one way. Huff, 61 moves over there. And I really think that Rick Darnley, 76, should have stayed with Dan Hampton longer.
That's within Mosley's range. From this point, he's looking at a 50-yard field goal. From the shotgun on 3rd down, Theismann again, big rush on him, gets it away. Washington is really clobbered. Let's see if it's ruled an incompleted pass or a fumble.
It's an incomplete pass.
Todd Bell, number 25, the safety came in and lowered the boom on little Joe Washington, who's being helped to his feet. He took a tremendous shot.
They call that a fumble? I hope some official saw that the way we saw it.
They are calling it apparently a fumble.
I didn't didn't see it that way.
They're giving the football to the Bears on a fumble recovery. Watch it again.
Here, you see Joe back in the shotgun. You see people coming after him. Everybody picked up inside. Rick there picks up a guy. Now he moves out there. There's the ball. Ooh, boy, I'll tell you. Was that a vicious hit? I don't know if that was a completed pass or not. Let's see. Let's take another look now. Joe's sliding to his left. He's looking for Joe. Joe moved to the inside. Hartenstein, number 73, was out there on him. Now here he comes. It looks like he had the ball long enough to be called a fumble. Definitely. Good call by the officials.
And the Bears recovered the fumble and will have the football 1st and 10 at their 38 when we come back right after this. Porter cut at the fumble recovery a moment ago to Otis Wilson, the Bear linebacker. Steve Fuller at quarterback. They've got Suey and Payton in the eye. Payton takes the handoff. 40-45. Walter Payton has a first down for the Chicago Bears as he clears it out to the 49-yard line for a pickup of 12 yards.
Mark Bork, 62, the left guard, and Jim Covert, 74, did a nice job of just coming straight off and knocking people off the ball. Let's take a look at big Jim Covert here. Right to the left side of the screen, number 74 on Dexter Manley. Right to the left side of the screen, number 74 on Dexter Manley. See him turn him out there right now. He turned him out. Now a linebacker's got to fill that. He didn't get there. Therefore, the nice long run by Walter Payton.
And the Bears with a first down with the nose of the football just in their end of the field. McKinnon to the right side. As Fuller looks over the traditional 4-3 defensive alignment by the Washington Redskins. Fuller back to throw. Protection good. Airs it out. He's got McKinnon. McKinnon makes the catch at the 17-yard line. That's a first down for the Chicago Bears. McKinnon, who had his knee scoped just 3.5 weeks ago and is back in action. Vernon Dean was back defending, number 32.
Now watch the play action pass freeze the defense. See, he fakes the, there he goes, fakes the Walter. You have to acknowledge Walter. Now he goes back to the corner to Dennis McKinnon, who was one-on-one with Vernon Dean, and he beat him cleanly. Get on him, Vernon. He can get up and run. Here's Vernon Dean right now. He's going in motion just to loosen him up. He's still right there. Now he gives him a move to the post. He takes the corner move. Vernon Dean did a little too much. Nice pattern by a guy coming off knee surgery.
36-yard pickup on the play by the Bears. Split wide to the left side for the Washington Redskins. Theismann handing off to Riggins. And Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker, was ready for him, and not much there for the Redskin running back, who's now carried 14 times for 35 yards. Theismann has hit 7 out of 11. Down 16. He's big enough.
Here's the 46 defense, Frank.
Monk, man in motion. Theismann has it blocked. Up for grabs, but the Bears couldn't find it. Singletary tried to run it down. Now, you say 46 defense. What are you talking about?
That's when they have everybody up there, all the linebackers to one side. Well, all linebackers to one side, and it's a problem. Take a look at Al Harris, number 90. Big guy, has been a defensive end. This is his first full year as playing a linebacker. He's a giant as a linebacker, 6'5", 250 pounds. Tough to get the ball over his head.
What does that 46 defense make you do?
Well, usually it makes you run away from the over-shifted defense, meaning run away from the strength of the defense and then throw the football second.
It is the walk-off tacked on at the end of the play, moves the ball out to the 26-yard line. And now the Redskins do have some breathing room with 6 minutes, 16 seconds left to play in the first half. Theismann looks near side, now looks far side. And again he's going to run it. Otis Wilson finally chasing him down. He goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Looked like Singletary was going to chase him all the way up into the stands.
This was a play-action pass. Now watch Joe Theismann, number 7, in the middle. Reverse pivot, make the fake. He makes the fake to Riggins, and there he's looking to his left. The coverage was there. Steve McMichaels got in there and flushed him, number 76. Now he's running his fanny off to get away from number 55, Otis Wilson. Stay away from him, Joe.
Well, Theismann isn't quite the Redskins' leading rusher yet, but 4 carries for 30. Now, Fuller is one of, count them, 6 quarterbacks the Bears have used this year, including Walter Payton. That's quite a lineup, and you win a division with it, you've really done something.
That really is. That shows you how good the defense is. That also shows you how sound your offensive line is and how great your running back is.
Mike Ditka told us yesterday that if the Bears were lucky enough to get to the Super Bowl, he thinks that he could have Jim McMahon back for that game. We may find out more on that at halftime. Payton, first down, Chicago. Walter Payton out across the 45 to the 47-yard line, where Curtis Jordan and Charles Mann collaborate on the stop.
Watch Jim Covert, the left tackle, the top side of your screen, come off right there. Now he's turning Manley out again. Now the linebacker has to come in and make the play. It was blocked nicely right there by number 33, Calvin Thomas. And I'll tell you, this guy, Walter Payton, is about as physical and strong a running back for a 200-pounder as you'll ever see.
Well, the Redskins control the ball in the first quarter. And in the second period, it's been the Bears controlling the football. 2nd and 4 from the 20. They fake the reverse. Payton to throw, wide open. Dunsmore in the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Was he open or was he open?
He was wide open. Dunsmore was the tight end. They faked the toss first, then faked the reverse. And Walter Payton has 9 completions in his career as a passer, and 8 of them have scored touchdowns.
19 yards on the reception, and the Bears lead the Redskins for the first time with the extra point try to come.
Evidently, the strong safety, 48, Kenny Coffey, took his eyes off the tight end as the running play developed, and then allowed Dunsmore, number 88, to slip out there. Take a look at the toss now. He tosses it deep. Now Walter fakes it right there. Fake the reverse. Now he lays it up to the tight end all alone. No wonder his pass completion percentage for touchdowns is so great if they're all like that play. Now here's another shot. Now watch Dunsmore, number 88. See him sneak out underneath the linebacker. He sort of hesitated there like he was going to block and then slipped right out there. Completely fooled the strong safety, I think, Ken Coffey, number 48.
We're down to the 2-minute warning, which is going to both benches, with the Bears leading the Redskins 10-3. Redskins at the Bear 27, a minute 30 left to play in the first half.
Here's that 46 defense. Look at it quick.
Theismann in trouble behind the line and sacked back at the 32-yard line. Mike Ditka. He's calmed down a little bit on the sidelines, but you don't really want to calm Mike Ditka down too much.
I don't think so. As he said yesterday, he's gone through this whole season as the head coach being totally dissected in everything he does, on the field, off the field, on the sideline, and he's sort of tired. I think they ought to let the guy just be what he is, an intense, tough guy, and chances are his football team will be an intense, tough football team.
Broken ankle.
They're back in that defense again now. Fans, see the linebacker standing up to the right of the Redskin formation.
3rd and 20 from the 37. Good protection this time for a moment for Theismann, and all of a sudden Richard Dent blew through there and dropped him for the loss at the 50-yard line. What a rush by Dent. I'll tell you, if the quarterback sack is the defensive lineman's home run, this guy is Mike Schmidt in the NFC this year.
Here you can see him inside to the left side of your screen. He's coming on around to the outside. Russ Grimm has him right there. He got in between Jacoby and Russ Grimm. You take him, no, I'll take him. Now they're saying, who was supposed to block him? I think Russ Grimm should have stayed with him the whole time.
As they rush Monty Coleman, number 51 in there. He's normally their designated linebacker rusher, much like the Lawrence Taylor and all. Fuller throwing on 2nd down, completes it. That could be the big play. That's Galt. It's a foot race.
They won't catch him. He's got too much speed.
Willie Galt at the 10, at the 5, touchdown. Willie Galt, who told us yesterday he has been timed in 4.17 for the 40. 75 yards on the touchdown reception from Steve Fuller. And the Bears lead mounts to 16-3, and Joe Gibbs trying to figure out how to
to contain these Bears. Of course, the Redskins have had trouble defensing the pass all year long. That's been one of their big problem areas.
I think that was Vernon Dean in the coverage, and he slipped and fell down. And when you turn Willie Gault, as Frank said, loose in the secondary, not many people are going to catch him.
Back and be costly later. The touchdown again.
Here you can see now number 57 is the middle linebacker. Later on, you're going to see him. The ball's thrown to the right, a wobbly lane duck. All right, Green came up there, Darrell Green, and he missed it. He almost fumbled the football. Now Darrell's going to chase him, and he can't catch him. There comes the middle linebacker, 57, Rich Malott. He crosses the field. He picks up a block from Pat Dunsmore right here on Curtis Jordan, number 22, and he trots in. A guy that runs a 9.9 100 meters. Now take a look at this little out pattern, nothing to it. Darrell Green comes up, he plants his foot, slips and falls. Nice job. He almost fumbled the darn football. Here comes Rich Malott, 57, the linebacker chasing him. That's a mismatch. Here he goes. He's running on in for a score. Touchdown. Oh, little fancy move there at the end, Frank.
So the Bears lead the Redskins 16-3. Timeout. And 10-yard pickup on the play. Monk was shaken up and comes out of the ball game. First down from the 16-yard line. Theismann, we got a flag. As Theismann is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And on top of him is Richard Dent. 8th-round draft pick a year ago from Tennessee State, who led the NFC in sacks this year with 17.5, which is a Bears club record. And he'll be starting at his first Pro Bowl game. Check the penalty here with the referee, Fred Silva.
Offense, number 62, holding.
He steps in the huddle. Very bright guy. Rhodes Scholarship candidate, high school class valedictorian. A lot of smarts underneath that helmet.
Again, the decibel level picks up as the Bears come up to the line of scrimmage. He looks at the referee, Fred Silva, and says, "How about it? I can't hear." Well, I remember an Eagle game that you were involved in. Wasn't it a Monday night game in Miami, and Jaworski kept going back to the huddle?
We were back in the shotgun in the fourth quarter, and the game was really tight, and the fans were making so much noise. With Jaworski back 6 yards from the center couldn't hear the snap counts. And so...
Third down, let's still call it 5. Leading for the first down for the Bears at their 27. Fuller inside, handoff, a little pitch to Suey across the 40, 50. Matt Suey is down to the 40-yard line. A little inside pitch, which actually is a forward pass.
That's right. If it's dropped, it goes as an incomplete pass. It's very unusual. You don't see it very much. Now watch the quarterback. Watch him go back. Now watch him flip the ball with his left hand to Matt Suey coming up underneath there. And this Suey is a much better runner than people give him credit for. Look at him go. He's going to switch the ball right there. Hang on to it. That's the big thing. Don't fool around with switching it. Just don't fumble it. Now you'll get a better shot. Now watch Suey. Watch Suey right there from the reverse angle. See him coming in, number 26. Flip it right up there. Dexter Manley was suckered upfield. And look at him go. Good runner. Go Walter Payton, but he's still a good running back.
34 yards. Big play for the Bears, and that quiets the crowd down a little bit.
It takes a lot of guts to call that play because it can misfire. Of course, if you throw it forward and fumble it, it's an incomplete pass.
Had he fumbled it, it would have simply been an incompleted forward pass. First down at the 39, Payton. Down to the 35, inside the 30 to the 29-yard line, and very close to a first down.
Very good signal calling, Frank. You know what they're doing? Stay cool, men. Stay cool. They're running draw plays, feeling that the defensive line, hey, they're all fired up. They're charging. They want to get after everybody. Maybe coming a little too hard, not reading the run keys properly, and running draws right by him.
Of course, he got the big one in there to go for 75.
But that was a 10-yard completion.
That's right. If that. First and 10. Bears at the Redskins' 16-yard line. 4 minutes left. Third period. Fuller flushed out of the pocket. Goes to McKinnon. Touchdown. Fuller
keeping his cool, and there was some question in my mind almost that Fuller got beyond the line of scrimmage before he threw that thing, but no flags.
Real good poise right there. He flushed up inside. The receiver stayed with a pattern. He knew what was going on with his receivers downfield, found the open man, and I'll tell you, it's really tough as a defensive back to cover a guy in that situation.
Secondary, with the exception of Leslie Frazier, you've really got all all safeties back there. They don't have another cornerback, legit cornerback on their roster. They figured that would cause them problems. 1st and 10 from the 50. Muhammad hangs onto this one, makes the grab at the 33, fumbles the football, and the Bears have recovered. Big play as Fensick comes up with the fumble recovery and the big hit by Leslie Frazier, number 21.
I wonder if he thought Todd Bell was going to come over and decapitate him like they did to Joe Washington in the first quarter. Boy, as a pro receiver, you got to lock that one up. Now you can see it's play action pass. Watch the fake the quarterback makes to Riggins right here. See, that freezes the linebackers inside. He comes back, turns to his left, and throws the post pattern right on the money. Plenty of time to lock it in there. He was bobbling the ball going down. He was bobbling it going down. Maybe that's why the Raiders traded him.
They were in front 3-0 in the first period. It's been their only lead of the game. 1st and 10 from the 36 of the Bears. They go with Riggins. And Riggins gets to the 34. Well, you mentioned a few moments ago that the Bears have had problems in the fourth. 1st and 10 at the Chicago 40 with 9:52 left to play in the game. The fake to Riggins. Theismann in trouble behind the line of scrimmage and goes down under the rush of Steve McMichael, number 76, the 5th-year man from Texas.
Steve McMichael has done a real good job. He came into this ball game, Frank, with 22.5 career sacks. Take a look at Steve McMichael now. You'll see him flash from the right corner of your screen. He's on Mark May, 73. He just threw him to the ground, and here he comes, number 76, to get to the quarterback. Doing a nice job. Had 10 sacks coming into this game.
Awesome 6.
You know what his hobby is? Hunting rattlesnakes. That's got to be tougher than sacking the quarterback, isn't it?
That's got to be a defensive lineman's hobby. It's 2nd down, 16 for the Redskins at the 46 of the Bears. Again, Theismann goes down. We get a flag, and the big hit that time by Richard Dent. And he really leveled Theismann. But the dreaded hanky has fallen.
Offense, number 62. Holding. Decline. 3rd down.
Here's a shot of it right down ground level. Here's McMichael, Steve McMichael, 76, and you can see Morristown, number 62, reaching around and grabbing him and pulls him away from the quarterback. You've got to call that. He was activated today. He might be having more problems than he normally would because of the lack of points.
Need 24 for the 1st down at their own 46. Monk in motion. Theismann escapes Hampton. Still looking downfield. Pass is almost intercepted. What in the world was Dent doing down there with Joe Washington? Richard Dent, number 95, was down there helping on the coverage with Joe Washington.
They do peel off defensive ends from time to time in coverage when linebackers have been committed to rush. Of course, not all defensive linemen can do that, and I have seen many times, Frank, where a defensive lineman has been given that assignment, but he didn't carry it out.
Well, Buddy Ryan will tell you that the Bears have 60 different coverages, and they try to put the pressure on everybody, make it very difficult for the quarterback to do a quick read. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Just got it away. Theismann on 3rd and 10. Loses the ball. However, it's going to be rolled an incompleted forward pass. They say his arm was in motion. That time it was Al Harris, number 90, who was in there quickly.
Pressure on the quarterback when you see that clock going down. That clock's going down. See number 90, Al Harris, standing there right to the right of your screen. There he's coming. He's picked up by little Joe Washington. It's a physical mismatch, and Harris gets in there. Joe Washington at about 5'9", 178 pounds.
Theismann, 21 out of 37, 289 yards. 1st and 10 Redskins at their 18. Big rush, hit by Dent as he delivers the football, and Bell had a certain interception and couldn't hang on to it. Todd Bell, the safety, had running room in front. And Dent put the big rush on Theismann, and a lot came off of that pass. And the Bears were 89.
Take a look at Dent, number 89 there, coming around the outside. 99, rather, Hampton. 95, Dent, coming all the way around the outside of big Jacoby, and he had...
Timeout left. Again, pressure on Theismann. He's flushed out of the pocket and caught from behind at the 15-yard line, and again, it was Dent, the second-year man from Tennessee State, who said, oh, and he's working against a Pro Bowler in Joe Jacoby, the 300-pounder. Dent has 3 sacks. Redskins at a 3rd and 13 coming up at their 15-yard line. Sideline throw will get him back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
I don't know why you throw it short, Joe.
Dave Durson, number 22 on the tackle, Art Monk on the reception, and that will run the clock down to the 2-minute warning. Walsh of San Francisco will go in the Bears locker room, talk to a lot of happy Bears, including Mike Ditka, and maybe have a couple of surprises. 2nd and 10. Time is gone. Intercepted on the last play of the game. The interception pulled down by Mike Richardson. It has ended. The Bears are on their way to San Francisco for the NFC Championship game next Sunday afternoon against the 49ers, 23-19. So the strategy didn't work out badly for Mike Ditka, taking the safety. No. Been a great football game. And the Bears come out on top by 4 on
The Chicago Bears upset the Washington Redskins 23-19, and now it will be Chicago and San Francisco for the NFC Championship. The Redskins had closed to within 6 points, Terry, in the 3rd quarter. It was 16-10, and then Steve Fuller, and you called it at the half. You said, Brent, he's doing a pretty good job. He's not making a big mistake. No big mistake. In fact, he's about to come up with a big play, as we'll show you right here. And it was Dennis McKinnon breaking free in the end zone.
It was a good job of scrambling. We talked earlier that this guy really does throw well on the run. He gets the coverage back, then he moves up the run, and they come up, and then lo and behold, Dennis McKinnon eases in the corner, pops him with the football.
Terry, you were out on the sideline, and you came back and said, Brent, I haven't seen folks hit this hard in a long time.
I really haven't. One of the reasons everybody would say, won't you come on inside and get out of the way? I said, you know, I've never witnessed this kind of hitting before, and I really wanted just to stay and get the full impact of it, and I guarantee you it was one of the hardest hitting games I've ever, well, witnessed. I've played in some, but never witnessed.
All right, Terry, we've got Irv Cross inside the locker room now, the victorious Chicago Bears. Let's go to Irv.
Well, victorious indeed, Brent. Of course, it's a great celebration in here, and the man, of course, is most proud of these Bears is right here, Mike Ditka. Congratulations, Mike.
Well, I appreciate so much. I just can't tell you how proud I am. This was, we talked about it, took 49 men. We're not a pretty football team. We just try to be resourceful, and I can't tell you how proud I am of these guys. We set out to do something early, and it worked out for us.
You know, one of the resourceful moments in the ball game is when you elected to take a safety deep into your territory instead of going for the first down under. Tell us about that strategy.
Well, I tell you, really, I don't know if I was right or wrong, but I felt at that time if we could move the ball out a little bit, they weren't going to score another touchdown on our defense. I knew that we still had a chance to put us ahead by 4 points. Even if they scored a touchdown, 3 points from us would have tied it again. So I thought it was the right thing at the right time. I don't know if it was or not.
Well, Mike, you had a lot of players banged up coming in this ball game. How did you come out of it?
Well, we probably didn't come out of it any worse. Terry Schmidt's not going to be able to play, but I think we found that Frazier can play. You found that Dewerson can play on defense. And, you know, we got our work cut out. We're going up against the best team in football next week, but that seems the way we played all year. We go up against the best. We just try to do the best we can.
All right. Thanks a lot. Congratulations, Mike. Brent, well, stay right here. Stay right here. All right. Go ahead, Brent.
All right, Irv, I want Mike to stay close because we do have the victorious Bill Walsh yesterday, who directed the San Francisco 49ers to that win over the New York Giants. And I know, Coach Walsh, you have got some words on Mike Ditka's performance today with the Bears, too.
Well, it was a great victory. Super effort on both sides. I think it was a great game for the National Football League, and both teams looked awesome. So we've got our work cut out for us.
Bill, coming up to this weekend, were you preparing for Mike, and were you thinking that it might be the Bears this weekend rather than next?
Well, we knew sooner or later we'd probably play the Bears. They're a great team. They may have the best defense football seen in many, many years. And Mike has done a great job bringing that thing back together. Just a super attitude, and I think it'll be a great game next week.
Mike, what do you think about the 49ers now?
Well, they're the best team in football. I think what's great about it, though, is that this is what football should be. And maybe today it wasn't as glamorous courses, some people would like it, but it was on grass, and it was a way people like to play the game. And I saw a lot of dirty uniforms. I like that. I think the guys really appreciate it today, and we're gonna try to play our best next week. And I hope it is a credit to the National Football League, because I love this league. I love everything it stands for.
Coach Walsh, I think you're in for a football game the way Mike is talking about next week already.
Anybody that plays the Bears is in for a football game, I'll guarantee you.
Thank you, Bill. Great year for you. I just can't say enough about your team.
Well, we have great regard for you guys.
All righty.
Bill, thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. We're going to hear from some more of the Bear players when we continue with the post-game show here on CBS in just a moment.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. I love them. These fans know I drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row.
Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Good seats, hey, buddy? He missed the tag! He missed the tag!
The prelude. Some people like to drive it wide open.
Among the analysts on CBS Sports Saturday and Sunday are experts in the fields of gymnastics, speed skating, boxing, figure skating, and human nature. But who's the guy without the gold medal?
Well, Terry, you had some thoughts about next week's NFC Championship game.
Well, I think one of the things that is going to make it such a great game is that you're going to match the NFC's top offense with one of the great quarterbacks in Montana versus the blitzing Bear defense, the greatest defense in the National Football Conference. It's a true confrontation in what championship games are made of.
All right, we want to hear what Jimmy the Greek has got to say about it. He is upstairs right now with Frank Lieber and Dick Vermeil, so let's go up to Frank.
This was the man that before the season gave you the Bears in San Francisco in the championship game, right?
And here they are.
Right, but you waffled a little bit before the ball game today.
I did, because of Theismann over Fuller. Had it been McMahon, there wouldn't have been any doubt in my mind about it. I'm ashamed of myself for dogging it, really.
All right, let's look ahead to next week. Who do you like?
The 49ers will have to be a favorite, approximately about 10 points. And there's no question about it. They're the better team. They've got a better quarterback once again, Montana, and they'll put some points on the board where the Redskins didn't do so well.
How about a word on Pittsburgh and Denver, which is just about to get
You've got to take Elway because he's evasive. He's now a quarterback who's experienced, and he'll be the difference in the game.
5, please. We'll do a complete workup.